Shalom, Israel. It's your Maya call. Before I start off, I want to give praises to the Father and the Son. Brakta Yahweh, Brakta Yahusha, Brakta Yahweh, Brakta Yahusha, Brakta Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahusha, Bahashem, Rekakadash. Yahweh is who the people ignorantly call God, and Yahusha is who the people ignorantly call Jesus. You so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, so-called Native Americans, you are the Hebrew Israelites. And also, you're feeling pulled to learn and push this truth. And you are also Israelite. So, today, we're in the news. It's India, Pakistan, they've been going at it. Their tensions have, increasing, man. And this is like, in this third world, each war, each conflict is like a puzzle piece on the chessboard. And the chessboard, is this world. And all these conflicts are, tied together, man. You look at India, Pakistan, both of these are nuclear nations. They have nukes. So, anytime it's a conflict involving a nation that has nukes, you should definitely be paying attention to it. Because one thing could lead to another. And, the tensions can get worse. And, they, could fire off one of them nukes. Depending how things go. And if you look at Pakistan and India, I believe both of them are countries, ruled by Elamites. So in this third world, we are seeing that it's like these wars are like civil wars in a way. Because it's people fighting against their own people. You look at Russia, Ukraine, both Edomite nations. You look at China and Taiwan, both Moabite nations. It's a lot of, inner war in these countries, civil war. And, this conflict, also is going to decide, where a lot of these different countries' loyalty lies. They're going to have to choose, between Pakistan and India. And it's already some Asian countries, backing, Pakistan. And a couple different countries are so saying that they are remaining neutral, like Russia. So, this is definitely something to, keep an eye on. And, another sign that countries are trending towards likely war when they close their airspace. Just like how Poland's airspace is closed to Russia. That's basically what, India just did to and that's what Pakistan did to India. Close their airspace to them. So, it's a lot going on there, They're also having intentions about water. And we know water is a very important, resource. So, in this third world, just like pieces keep getting added, to the chessboard. And, it's clear and undeniable that, we are in World War III, right now. Of course, the masses isn't gonna, come hip to it until they see World War III headlines on the fucking CNN and, military drafts and shit like that. But man, it's clear that we are in this third world right now. And man, hey man, should only expect more and more countries to start having tensions or relations with countries that are bad right now to get worse. Like, you should expect Russia's and the U.S. relations to get worse. You should expect Russia and China's relations to grow more and closer. You know, you should expect Iran-China relations to go closer, Iran-Russia relations to go closer. Because, you know, we know that they're going to be one of the main ones, you know, taking it to Babylon the Great, which the world today knows as the U.S. of A. You know, we got a couple precepts before we close out for today. This Ecclesiastes 3:8. A time to war and a time to hate. Slakia. A time to love and a time to love and a time to hate. A time of war and a time of peace. And you know, even though it don't seem like shit's hitting the fan here in America, aka Babylon the Great, you know, we are in a time of war, man. No, we are in the World War III, man. The bloodiest and most destructive war with the most deadliest technology. And you know, if you think that there's just always going to be peace, nothing's going to happen, then you're mistaken, man. Then you know the time for peace will be when all is said and done. You know, when the Israelites are, you know, in the kingdom and these heathen nations are, you know, in subjection to their rule, man. You got Matthew 24:7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. So, you know, we're seeing nation rise against nation. We're seeing kingdom rise against kingdom. Hell, we're seeing civil wars right now. The Ukrainians, Russians, fucking Edomites, same nation going at it. You got, looks like India and Pakistan about to start going at it. Same nation, looks like. You got China, Taiwan, both Moabites, same nation. So, you know, we have a lot of civil war going on between these nations. Even though they're part of the same nation, they see that nation that they're at war with as obviously an enemy. So, you know, these nations are divided amongst themselves. They're not on one accord, man. And, you know, we're seeing a lot of earthquakes in diverse places. You know, you got earthquakes hitting in places that is not common. You know, you have more pestilences popping up. You know, just today, I saw this article. It said China blames U.S. for the CV, you know what, outbreak. So, you know, really, all these nations, even though they try to point the finger when it comes to that, all these niggas probably sat down at a table, just like how they did fucking Psalms 83, discussing the destruction of the Israelites. Pretty sure all these heathen nation leaders sat together to discuss how are we gonna usher out the MOTB, man. Because even though they play like they hate each other on the world stage, this is like a theater, man. Behind closed door, these niggas the best of buddies. It's like they're putting on a play, a show. They're like actors playing their roles. And we still got these, terrorists, US and China. They talking, it's been like a big topic lately. But we're seeing the ports in LA slow down. And the port is where they, unload all the goods and stuff. How they come to, your stores or whatever it may be. So, man, these tariffs are gonna, have an impact. And don't be surprised. Soon your shelves, your Walmart start looking empty, or they start, adding tax to them because the demand is high, but the supply chain is low. So things like this are coming, man. But with that, hope this lesson was edifying. The spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All praises unto Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Until next time, Shalom, Shalom.